All right, great. Thanks for coming on, everybody. Welcome to Expert in the House tonight. My name is Dan Doyle from Sydney, Australia. This is my last call from Australia. We are actually, my wife and I, Susanna, are relocating overseas, and thanks to this incredible company, ASEA, that I'm going to talk to you about tonight. This is a big statement, but and I'll usually like to reiterate it, that what you're going to hear about is nothing less than the single greatest health science, anti-aging, and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. That's the single greatest health science, anti-aging, and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. I'm going to talk about an incredible company with a technology and products that are beyond and above anything that you've ever heard of. So welcome for those guests on tonight. Thank you for coming back on, for anybody who knows about ASEA. And there's several reasons why people look at these products. The products you can see here on the screen, the ASEA, the Renew 28, and a handful of other products this company does have in their range. The first one is that you may have a health challenge. So think about these. Think about how your body is today, how it is performing, how you're feeling. Are you getting sleep? Do you have energy? You may know somebody that has a health challenge. So think about the loved ones and family members, and also your friends. Anybody who has a health challenge out there, anybody that you know. You may understand the concept of looking after yourself through exercise, through diet. You may not like the way that you're looking or feeling anymore as you're aging, the way you look in the mirror. You may be looking for a little bit of an energy, as I said, athletes, for example, and not even athletes. I used to be an athlete, which you're going to hear about, but even for us people getting through day-to-day life, always looking for a little bit of energy. You may also be looking for an opportunity. So there are several reasons why people look at this company. So I'm sure there's something there for you. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just here to pass on a message, to give you information for you to make a decision whether you want to do something with this company, ASEA, or with their technology, with their breakthrough products. So I'm just the messenger, don't shoot me. Before I go into my story, I just want to go through the company disclaimer that ASEA, these products you can see on the screen, their technology, their range of products, aren't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. But what I'm going to talk about is the technology, products that can potentially empower the body to heal itself. And I'm going to talk about redox signaling molecules. You're going to hear about that, and you'll know exactly what redox signaling molecules are and what they do in your body and how critical and crucial they are to keeping your cells working at optimal level and for you actually just living day to day. So I'll go through my story now. I am been with this company for 4.5 years. I am on the Global Advisory Council for the company. I'm an Ambassador Triple Diamond with the company. There's various things that I have achieved, and all these achievements are just a reflection of the people that I'm helping. So if you're here for your health, I will go through that. And when I finish going through that part, you're more than welcome to go back to the person that introduced you to these products and to this technology, and they can do a product plan for you and help you maximize the results that you can get from these products. You're going to hear my story. I was here for my health, and that's the only reason I was here. But I did end up looking at the opportunity that we had at hand as well. So, as I said, that this is the single greatest health science, anti-aging, and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. I grew up in the western suburbs here in Sydney. This is me as a little boy. My mother, Tess and George, incredible parents. They did a great job bringing up our parents. It was a middle class family. It was tough times in the western suburbs, and they had multiple jobs to put us through the right schooling and do the best they could for us kids. I love my sports. That's me in the bottom left-hand corner. My father is the coach on the left-hand side. At this stage, I was in the under-13s in my school, Newman High. I went to Parramatta Maris Brothers after this. I'm a mad Parramatta supporter. We had a great win over the weekend. I did judo and gymnastics around this time. I was an absolute sports freak. I couldn't stand school. And the more I could get out of homework, or get out of school and play sports, the better. I just love being outdoors and playing sports. I know that's totally different to the way the kids see things these days. Graduated from high school back in 1983. This is my school graduation. My father made me go on to year 11 and year 12 instead of Parramatta Morris Brothers. Didn't like school. So I asked him if I could leave school in August 1984, and he did allow that because I did get a pretty decent job. Well, it was a good start anyway, cleaning coffee machines in a bank called Westpac, one of our big 4 banks here in Australia. So I worked that job for several years and made a decision I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. And I went out on my own and I purchased a little bodybuilding shop, so a fitness shop up in Newcastle in 1991. And in between the time that you're seeing here, 16, 17 years old, and the age 24, when I had this business, I went into bodybuilding. Leading up to this, I did surfing, aerobics, I did a lot of other sports, and I had to be a product of the product. And when people walked into my shop, they saw that I looked the part, and they end up doing business with me. But I lived, I ate, and I breathed bodybuilding and my business back in those days. So over the next 20 years, I ended up building and selling 20 traditional businesses. On the way through in 1999, I met my beautiful wife, Suzanne, and this was the best day of my entire life. As you can see, I went to the hairdressers on the day. My wife, Suzanne, didn't. And, you know, we've had a great 20 years. We've been married 20 years at the end of this year. And as I said, we're really excited about embarking on the next chapter in our lives and heading overseas in a week's time. This was me at the age of 44 years old. The reason why I'm showing you this is just to show that I was still very physically active. I was still going to the gym at 6:30 every single morning, looking after myself, doing a lot more cardiovascular work, not too many weights back in those days. But just leading up to 50 years old, I just wanted to be the best physical version of myself that I could be. So I really kept up the exercise and looking after my body through this time. So my whole life I've been into sports and I've been into exercise. I didn't know in this particular photo back in December in 2010 that I was actually in a lot of trouble with my health. A lot of health conditions and issues take 5, 10, 15, 20 years to come to the surface. And unfortunately, I found a little lump underneath my left rib. Thank goodness I was in the condition I was in, because if I had some weight on myself, I wouldn't have found the problem. And basically 6 months later, in May 2011, the doctors gave me some bad news. And my second home here in Sydney was a hospital called the Royal North Shore Hospital. And what I went through in that hospital for that 2.5 years, as you can see, I've got no hair from the top of my head to my toes. What I went through, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I was putting on a very fake smile here. I was actually with a hero of mine, Johnny Manor, who played for the Cronulla Sharks and Parramatta Eels. And, you know, unfortunately, he'd been through those hospital visits that I had started in this photo. And he'd come through it very, very well. But just after this photo, his issue came back and we lost him at the age of 23 years old within 2 years of this photo. So what we had, you can see the bright green, lime green ribbon. We were ambassadors for one of the foundations here, and we used to give patient talks and whatnot. But what we were going through was very, very serious. And I didn't just have one of these issues, I had 2 of these major issues. So the journey started, and at the end of the 2.5 years of my first lot of hospital visits, by that stage, Suzanne and I were really struggling. We were struggling to put food on the table. We had lost everything financially. We actually borrowed $25,000 off my parents, thinking, okay, well, how long am I going to be around? And we bought this van and started traveling Australia. We predominantly did the East Coast and spent a lot of time going out Cairns, the Daintree and Cape Tribulation and down to the Great Ocean Road. And we did have a good time travelling up and down. But at the end of the day, we couldn't afford rent. And that was one of the reasons why we were in this van. But we look back and we had a great time. We saw a lot of Australia, but it was tough times. So going through this part of our journey, so this is basically 2013 and 14, when the doctors told me after 2.5 years of those hospital visits to get my affairs in order, we made a decision to go and check out Australia, but I also made a decision to do some research and take the responsibility of my health back into my own hands. So I went onto an alkaline diet. My research also led me to a lot of network marketing companies, which I never believed in, but this research led me to some of these companies, and I realized that they had very good products. And I was on a lot of products from a lot of different companies, several of these companies, spending a lot of money on nutritional supplements, super juices, antioxidants, alkaline water, you name it, to empower my body to heal itself, to detox, to rid my body of what wasn't supposed to be in there. And this is the result after 2 years of taking all these products and being on this alkaline diet. So as you can see from the condition of my skin, what you can see is still a reflection of what was happening on the inside. So I was still in a lot of trouble with my health. My tests were still heading in the wrong direction. This photo was taken in October 2014. A friend of mine, Bart Cotter, reached out, and all he said to me was, I think I found something that could help. I thought of another friend at the time, Mal Sword. He'd been dealing with a skin condition for over 40 years, spent over $100,000 trying to deal with this skin issue that wasn't getting any better. So I called Mal. Mal Sword and I flew over to Salt Lake City in Utah to meet Bart Cotter, because that's where he was at the time, at the headquarters of this company called ASEA. Now, ASEA is a cellular health company. We sat in a meeting that went for a few hours, and Dr. Gary Samuelson got up and spoke, who's the atomic and medical physicist who came up with this breakthrough. And everything that he was saying was going over my head anyway. You know, I've never heard of the mitochondria, never heard of redox signaling molecules. And so, you know, he was talking to me, he was talking in another language as far as I was concerned. Something I did understand was that this product that was sitting on the table at the time was 100% non-toxic, and it could have health benefits. So the great thing was, at the time, it was free. So Mal and I are gorging it down. Mal's got a lot of Scottish in him, and I've got a bit in me. So we love things that are free. We were drinking a lot of product at that time. And what happened was, we finished the meeting. I went back to the hotel room to have a shower, because we were meeting the founders of this company, ASEA. We were meeting corporate. We were meeting Dr. Gary Samuelson for dinner. So I took off my shirt to have a shower, and I'm covered in all these little red spots all over my chest, my back, and my shoulders, not realizing at the time what I was trying to achieve here in this photo for 2 years on this alkaline diet and taking all these products to rid my body, to detox my body, was literally happening in a short 3 hours. So that was an incredible win, and I considered that win number one once I knew and understood what was going on. The second win came the next morning. I used to love my coffee back then, and I've had a caffeine intolerance for 20 years. More than 2 coffees, I'm buckled over all day. I've got discomfort, I've got bloating. And unfortunately, after everything I went through in that hospital, I was so tired and fatigued from what they put me through. I used to drink more coffee to give myself more discomfort, bloating, and issues to keep me awake, to get me through to the day. The next morning, I decided, after being on this product just for overnight, literally, and I had some that morning before breakfast, I decided to have 6 coffees. Don't forget, any more than 2, I've got major issues. So the next morning I get up, I have these 6 coffees, and to my surprise, I went through the whole day and there was nothing to remind me of what I endured for a whole 20 years. That issue was gone overnight. Next day, long story short, I had so much lung damage from everything they put me through in that hospital. I was having trouble breathing and talking at the same time. I used to gasp for air. I found it difficult walking up hills and up stairs. And the next day, my lungs were functioning perfect. So I had 3 wins in a very short period of time. I came back to Australia. Mel and I came back. I stayed on the product, and I kept getting these little wins. Halfway through 2015, 8 months after I started on the product, I was in a financial... 8 months after I started on the product, in the middle of June 2015, I was in a financial position where I could afford more product, and I started drinking a lot more of this ASEA. And by December 2015, so just I mean, you'll see the difference from this photo in October 2014 to the next one. This is the day the doctors told me some very good news that the two major issues that I had, they couldn't find any sign of anymore. So this is just a part of my story back to health. I mean, I had major injuries, lingering injuries from playing sports for so many years, from 40 years ago. Neck problem, 80% use of one shoulder, 80% use of one hand. I used to throw my back out all the time and be in bed for up to a week, a month, trying to get the inflammation down to get out of bed again, with back problems, hip problems, pelvic problems. Things were turning into that issue that people get as they get older. And it wasn't nice. But by this photo, just after 12 months after I started on the product, all these things had actually gone away. My whole body was rebuilt, including 20 years of sneezing and pollen problems, my nose running all day, every day. All those issues were gone by the end of 2015. That's my story back to health. And obviously, as you can see, 2 years later, this is in 2017, you can see how my skin's totally clearing up and I'm actually looking younger. And a picture only last year of my wife and I. And this photo, it actually went on the front page of our Become magazine, which was a very humbling experience. But this photo, was taken last year, and you can see the anti-aging side. I'm just going to bring you back to the. And what I'm going to do before I talk about the products is just have a little bit of chat about what's happening in us and how our bodies do signal itself to heal. Okay, so should be on the full screen now. So as I said, before I go into what ASEA is and what it does, I'm going to talk about what's happening inside of you right now. I'm not going to go too much into the science, but if you have heard of the mitochondria, you'll know the function of the mitochondria. The mitochondria is little power plants in every single one of our cells. We have up to 5,000 mitochondria in one cell, in our heart cells, for example. And we are made up of 75 trillion cells. So you can just imagine how many of these power plants are in our bodies, because if you've got up to 5,200 to 5,000 in one cell, there's a lot running around in our bodies producing the energy for our cells. As the energy is being produced in our cells, there's a chemical reaction that takes place that changes the molecular structure of salt water into these molecules called redox signaling molecules. What these molecules are responsible for is detecting cells and then signaling the body, all our systems, everything to come into play to either protect the cell if it's good, repair it if it needs repair, or destroy and replace it if it's too far gone. So these redox signaling molecules are the signaling molecules between our cells. This is a good cell, this cell has an issue. This cell sends a signal to this cell here, and all of a sudden it goes, hey, you're not looking too well, you're not, I'll take it you're not feeling too well, calls the immune system in and all the systems in to either repair that or destroy that. That commits suicide, that's gone, and this cell divides and creates two brand new cells. That's happening in you right now. There's millions and millions of chemical reactions taking place. These redox signaling molecules being produced every single second of the day that actually do this role and function. They also activate antioxidants. We all know how important antioxidants are. Antioxidants are useless and do not work unless they're activated by these redox signaling molecules. What these molecules also do within the body is detect the bacteria, the virus, and the infection in our body. Without that detection, the body has no idea where these problems are. Our bodies rust. Our body's actually trying to repair, heal, and recover themselves, and sometimes it does more damage than good. An example of that would be the plaque that builds up in our arteries that causes heart disease. These molecules are responsible for finding that damage, expelling it from our body, rectifying the problem. These molecules turn on genes and are responsible for also regulating our 12 major systems. Our pancreas, cardiovascular system, our endocrine system, digestive system, skeletal system, our skin. It's key in the regulation of our 12 major systems. So basically these molecules are responsible for running our body top to bottom, involved in every single chemical reaction that's going on. We produce them in abundance as children. So up to the age of about 12, 13 years old, puberty, we produce them in abundance. And that's why children have so much energy. That's why children heal and recover so fast. By the time we get to 50 years old, we only have 50% production left. By the time we get to 70 years old, we only have 10% production left. So a 70, 80-year-old is healing 10 to 20 times slower than what they did at the age of 10 years old. If you were to stop producing these molecules right now, you would only have a few breaths left in your body. And it'd be like a science fiction movie. You would age so quick and it'd be all over literally just within a few seconds. So that's how critical and crucial they are to life. Now, the breakthrough came, excuse the internet connection sometimes. The breakthrough came in 2007, before this company ASEA started. But what happened was, after 17 years, a biotech company that was taken over by a gentleman by the name of Doyle April, they had managed to stabilize these molecules outside of the body. Science said it was impossible because these molecules got a positive charge, negative charge. They last for a split second in the body. How can you produce something and actually stabilize it and bottle something that is fleeting in nature? Well, these guys have managed to do it. ASEA was born in 2009, 2010. The company started. And the reason it started was because Vertus' strategy was to sell his technology out to the pharmaceutical industry. And he had a meeting with a pharmaceutical company in 2007. He was going to create generational wealth for his family with such a big breakthrough. And what happened was, he was offered a great big check, but this pharmaceutical company said to him, you need to hand over all the data, all the research, and there's 135 people on the product. You need to shut that down. You need to take them off the product. And Vertus said, that's a bit harsh, because if we take some of these people off the product, there were half a dozen, they were really in bad shape, more than likely they weren't going to live too long. And basically he said, what are we going to do with them? And this pharmaceutical executive piped up and said, Vertus, people deal with their challenges the best they can. If you want this check, you need to let them go. Now, Vertus Norton made a decision that day to leave this technology as his legacy to humanity. He came from running Fortune 50 companies in America. He ran a $36 billion US division of Kraft Foods. And he was basically the CEO of CEOs in America. He started a network marketing company, which is, don't forget, a business model I didn't believe in, I used to run away from. But anyway, ASEA was born in 2009, 2010. This is the only thing on the planet you can consume that is 100% non-toxic. You can feed it to a newborn baby. It's bioactive, which means it works in the body because it's native to the body. It's what our bodies produce. So as soon as it goes in, it knows exactly what to do. The body knows what to do with it, and it starts detecting cells, starts detecting the damage in your body, and then signaling the body to where the problem is. This is something that the whole planet is lacking in. Even a newborn baby, once we're born, the intake of toxins, unfortunately, the mitochondria is affected straight away, and production of these things aren't as effective. A second breakthrough came 5 years after the liquid, which was in a topical gel. They happened to get these molecules in a topical gel. We can apply this to anywhere on our body. It's an all-over body rejuvenation. Anything you don't like, from wrinkles, cellulite, saggy skin, to anything that's not supposed to be there, or any damage that you've done, or if you're hurting somewhere, you can apply this. And as soon as the molecules go into depth, signals the immune system, the whole body, to come in to those areas to actually deal with those cells it's coming in contact with. My claim to fame, and as I said, we can't make any claims, but I will make one. I used to be quite ugly before I started using this product. We do have a little range of skincare products. Obviously, we need to prepare the skin to put the Renew 28 on. We do have a serum, which is twice as concentrated in molecules as the Renew 28, and we also have a moisturizer. Last year, they came out with a little range of nutritional supplements in a micronutrient whole food multivitamin biome, which is a probiotic, prebiotic, and a longevity product called LifeMax. So for years and years and years, ASEA only had one half of the story. One half of the story was redox signaling molecules, the labor that cuts to the chase and makes everything work. And for years and years and years, every other company out there had the other half story of the story, which is the nutrition for the body. We can now make a claim that we are the only cellular health company on the planet that is totally complete, that has the labor for the body and also the material that we need to rebuild and to feed ourselves and survive. That's all about the product. If you've come on this call just to hear about the product because you may have health challenges, or you may know somebody, or you want to look younger, feel younger, or you want to have better performance as an athlete, or even some energy during the day, or better sleep, go back to the person who introduced you to ASEA and to these products. They can open up a wholesale account and get some product on its way. They can do a product plan. I'm just going to have a quick talk about the opportunity. As I said, I came from traditional business over 20 years, building a lot of traditional businesses. A lot of people came to me over all those years with all different types of different products and services and companies from this network marketing industry, which I honestly couldn't stand. But I was pretty naive to the fact that there was such an incredible business model out there. 4.5 years ago, we were struggling to put food on the table. My health started to come back. We made a decision to start sharing ASEA with other people because it became a responsibility. I wasn't going to keep this to myself when it did so much for my own health. I needed to get out and share it. As a byproduct of helping people and helping people with their health and all sorts of things that they wanted to achieve, as a byproduct of that, the company ASEA started sending me checks. I started making commissions. The great thing about that for me was I had a goal to buy more product, to be able to put in my own body, to get better quicker. So I made a decision to share it with people to help them, but not only to do that, but also to help me. I needed to put my oxygen mask on because my health was still, even though I was getting better and getting great results from ASEA, I needed to invest in a lot more product because of the issues that I had. So the health kept coming back over 2015. February 2015, I actually made a decision to share with people. 12 months later, I was at a level they call diamond. And I mean, to me, from hearing all about these companies in the past, that was a big deal when I used to hear about it. Not a big deal to get with, get to with ASEA. There is work to put in. You have a lot of support there if you want to do this. We are looking for people to help us share this incredible breakthrough to the world. Once you know what this is, instead of be a crying shame, once you know what this is, it'd be a crying shame to keep this to yourself. It'd be actually selfish not to share this with people. And as I said, we can help you share this with people and not only help others achieve whatever they want to achieve from this incredible gift. I mean, we've got this vehicle that can take people back to their health, but we also got this vehicle that can take people to financial freedom. I would never have thought 4 years ago that in the last 3 years, Suzanne and I would have traveled to 40 countries. I would never have imagined. I couldn't have dreamt up the life and lifestyle we have from what we've created just by getting out there and helping people. This is the most satisfying thing I have ever done in my entire life. I would never go back to a corporate job, and I would never go back to traditional business. This is the biggest and best opportunity that I have ever come across in my entire lifetime. And if you guys are looking for something, if you're looking for an opportunity, if you like helping people, I can guarantee that you'll never find a better vehicle. Guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much for coming on this call. Get back to the person who introduced you and talk to them about the opportunities with ASEA, what they can do with you, for you, how they can support you, how they can help you with you, and hopefully you can join us on this journey. Thank you very much, and have a great, for those guys in Australia, tomorrow's a big day with Anzac Day. Lest we forget the soldiers, fallen soldiers. We're going to remember those tomorrow, but have a great day off. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on.